Critical situation. The sprawling palace of Queen Xyrix, ruler of the Exteran Empire, was in chaos. Whispers of impending doom spread like wildfire among the servants and guards, their eyes darting nervously as they exchanged anxious glances. Deep within the royal stables, Gorthak, the queen's prized beast, lay in agony, its massive form writhing in pain. The creature was a symbol of the Exteran Empire's might, a terrifying amalgamation of razor-sharp teeth and formidable scales, yet it was now reduced to a mere shadow of its former self. Healers from across the empire had flocked to the palace, each one boasting their credentials and expertise. But as they approached the feral creature, each was met with brutal rejection. Gorthak, sensing their intentions, unleashed a series of guttural roars, fierce enough to send shivers down the spines of even the bravest warriors. With every failed attempt to soothe the beast, desperation grew among the royal advisors and palace staff. They knew that without Gorthak, the queen's grip on power would waver, leaving the empire vulnerable to rebellion from the warring factions vying for control. Vokil, the ancient and cunning royal advisor, paced anxiously, his long fingers tapping against the ornate hilt of his ceremonial dagger. "We cannot allow Gorthak to perish," he insisted, his voice a low growl. "Without him, the queen will lose her dominion, and chaos will reign. We must find someone, anyone, who can tame the beast." Yet, the fear of death hung heavy in the air. Gorthak's fierce reputation preceded it. Tales of the creature's ferocity had become legends, a source of terror that spread far beyond the palace walls. The Exteran medics, once confident in their abilities, now avoided eye contact, knowing they were ill-equipped to face such a beast. The gravity of the situation deepened with each passing moment, as Gorthak's health deteriorated, leaving a palpable sense of urgency looming over the palace. Involvement. Dr. Nathan Ryder, a young human veterinarian from Earth, had arrived on Sthar with dreams of intergalactic exploration and a chance to learn about alien life forms. His assignment with the Galactic Council was supposed to be an enlightening experience, involving routine examinations of various alien species, far removed from the chaos and danger he now found himself facing. However, fate had other plans. Upon his arrival, Nathan quickly sensed the unease among the Stharans, a tension that buzzed in the air like static electricity. He had spent his life studying various creatures back on Earth, treating everything from the smallest mammals to the largest predators, but nothing had prepared him for the stark reality of Gorthak's condition. He was thrust into a desperate situation, his credentials barely registering as the palace staff struggled to find someone brave enough to confront the beast. The whispers of "foolish human" echoed around him, but Nathan was driven by a deep sense of duty to help. When he was called to the Queen's palace, he felt the weight of expectation and skepticism bearing down on him. The royal advisors looked him up and down with disdain, their glances revealing their doubts. How could a human, with only theoretical knowledge of alien biology, possibly save a creature as fearsome as Gorthak? But Nathan was not one to back down from a challenge. As he listened to Vokil's condescending remarks about human inadequacies, something ignited within him, a blend of determination and defiance. He realized that despite their advanced technology and medical prowess, the Stharans were stumped by a creature that, in his heart, he believed he could save. It was not arrogance, but rather an unwavering belief in his training and instincts that propelled him forward. His knowledge of anatomy and medicine crossed interspecies boundaries, allowing him to see beyond Gorthak's savage exterior and recognize the pain that drove the creature's aggression. Nathan resolved to treat the beast, understanding that the survival of Gorthak was not just about saving a life, but about proving that humans could contribute meaningfully to the greater galactic community. With a medkit in hand, he prepared to step into the den of the beast, his mind racing with strategies and calming techniques he hoped would keep him alive long enough to make a difference. Dangerous task. As Nathan approached the royal stables, the air thickened with tension. The massive wooden doors loomed before him, etched with intricate carvings that depicted the might of Gorthak and the glory of the Exteran Empire. Taking a deep breath, he pushed the doors open, stepping into a realm where few dared to tread. Inside, the sight was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Gorthak lay in the center of the chamber, its colossal body coiled like a serpent, muscles rippling beneath dark, obsidian scales. The creature's sharp, fang-filled maw hung slightly open, revealing glistening teeth that could easily crush bone. As Nathan stepped closer, the beast's golden eyes snapped open, locking onto him with an intensity that sent a jolt of fear through his core. Every instinct screamed at him to turn and flee, yet he forced himself to stand his ground. The guards, who had escorted him into the stables, exchanged anxious glances. Nathan could feel their skepticism, their disbelief that a mere human could succeed where the mightiest of their healers had failed. He acknowledged their stares but focused on Gorthak, who growled lowly, the sound vibrating through the ground and reverberating in his chest. The air was charged with a mix of dread and excitement, and Nathan's heart raced as he moved forward, acutely aware of the potential for violence that lay in every muscle of the beast. He remembered his training, how to read animal behavior, to assess the body language of creatures in distress. But Gorthak was unlike anything he had encountered before. Its raw power and primal instinct presented a challenge that transcended species. Nathan crouched down, lowering his voice to a soothing murmur as he reached for his medkit, determined to project calmness. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said softly, hoping that his words would penetrate the haze of fear and pain clouding the creature's mind. As he began to scan Gorthak, the beast recoiled slightly, its growl escalating into a thunderous roar. Nathan felt the ground shake beneath him, and the guards instinctively raised their weapons, ready to intervene. Gorthak's rage was palpable, and Nathan knew he was walking a razor-thin line between life and death. One misstep could provoke the beast into a frenzy, and he would become just another casualty in the long line of those who had underestimated it. Every second felt like an eternity as he pressed the scanner against the beast's scaled neck, searching for any signs of the internal affliction that had eluded the Extheran healers. He was acutely aware of the sharp claws twitching nearby, the danger of being within striking distance of such a creature. The tension in the room was electric, the very air crackling with anticipation as Nathan balanced on the edge of disaster, fully aware that every decision he made could lead to salvation or calamity. Veterinary expertise. Nathan's heart raced as he navigated the intricate process of diagnosing Gorthak's ailment, the creature's massive frame overshadowing him like a mountain. He needed to remain focused, relying on the extensive training he had undergone back on Earth, where he had spent years learning about anatomy, pathology, and interspecies medicine. The challenge before him was unlike any he had faced, but he felt a deep-seated resolve to understand and treat the beast. With the scanner still pressed against Gorthak's neck, Nathan scanned the data as it flickered across the small screen. The readings displayed a complex array of biological markers. His pulse quickened as he began to identify abnormalities in the creature's vitals. Elevated levels of toxins, irregular heart rhythms, and swelling in the surrounding tissues. All signs pointed toward a severe parasitic infection. He recalled lessons about similar infections from Earth, but they had been theoretical, nothing compared to the reality of treating an alien creature of such size and ferocity. As he analyzed the data, he formulated a plan, mentally piecing together a treatment protocol. He knew he needed to act quickly. Gorthak's condition was deteriorating, and time was running out. Drawing on his knowledge of Earth-based veterinary practices, Nathan began to combine various treatments that he had learned. He remembered a concoction used to treat large predators back home, an antidote derived from natural compounds that could neutralize toxins and bolster the immune system. With swift precision, Nathan rummaged through his medkit, pulling out vials filled with bright liquids, each one representing the culmination of his years of study. He had only a moment to prepare, yet he felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility to save Gorthak. He carefully mixed the antidote, combining Earth's medicinal herbs with the advanced Extheran compounds he had learned about in the briefings. As he readied the injection, Nathan turned his attention back to Gorthak, who lay there watching him with eyes that were both fierce and vulnerable. He spoke softly, attempting to soothe the creature as he prepared the treatment. "I know you're hurting, and I'm going to help you," he said, his voice steady despite the swirling fear in his gut. He could see the beast's breathing was labored, each breath a struggle as it fought against the overwhelming pain. Nathan approached Gorthak with caution, holding the syringe firmly but gently. The guards tensed, ready to spring into action at a moment's notice. But Nathan raised a hand, signaling them to hold back. He needed this moment to go perfectly. The fate of both the beast and his own life depended on it. He leaned closer, preparing to inject the antidote into the creature's thick, scaled hide. Just as he was about to administer the treatment, Gorthak growled, its massive body tensing. Nathan's heart skipped a beat, but he remained calm, instinctively drawing on every ounce of empathy he could muster. He recognized the fear and confusion in the creature's eyes and knew he had to establish a bond of trust. "Easy now," he murmured, gently stroking Gorthak's neck with his free hand, hoping to provide some measure of comfort. "This will help you. I promise." Nathan was acutely aware of the risk he was taking, but he believed that if he could reach the beast on some level, perhaps he could alleviate its fear long enough to administer the treatment. In that moment, Nathan understood that being a veterinarian in a galaxy filled with diverse species required more than just knowledge. It demanded compassion, bravery, and an unwavering belief in the interconnectedness of all living beings. As he steadied his hand, he prepared to make the critical decision that would determine the fate of both himself and the creature he had come to save. Nathan's heart pounded in his chest as he held the syringe poised above Gorthak's thick hide. Time seemed to stretch, each second elongated by the charged atmosphere in the stable. The creature's golden eyes were locked onto him, a mix of fear, pain, and confusion swirling within them. Nathan could feel the tension in the air, a palpable energy that crackled like static electricity, raising the hairs on the back of his neck. As he steadied his hand, Gorthak growled again, a low, rumbling sound that echoed off the walls. Nathan's breath caught in his throat. He could sense the beast's inner turmoil, a powerful instinct that urged it to fight against the intrusion. The guards, their weapons still raised, exchanged nervous glances, their fingers twitching as they prepared to act at the slightest sign of aggression from Gorthak. Nathan knew that a single wrong move could provoke the beast, turning the tense standoff into a chaotic battle for survival. "I can help you," Nathan whispered, his voice barely audible over the growl reverberating through the stable. He focused on Gorthak, attempting to project calmness even as his own pulse raced. The weight of the moment pressed heavily on him, and he could feel the sweat trickling down his brow as the pressure mounted. This wasn't just a medical procedure. It was a battle of wills between a human and a creature that had decimated its past caregivers. Gorthak's body shifted, muscles rippling beneath its scales, and Nathan instinctively took a step back, still holding the syringe aloft. The beast's instincts were in direct conflict with its desperation for relief, creating an atmosphere thick with uncertainty. In that crucial moment, Nathan understood that he had to break through the wall of fear that separated them. He drew a deep breath, centering himself, recalling the lessons he had learned about building trust with even the most feral animals. "Please," he continued, his voice steady and soothing, "I need you to trust me. This will ease your pain." As he spoke, he felt an inexplicable connection forming, a silent conversation of empathy and understanding. Gorthak's growl softened slightly, the fierce gaze wavering as it processed Nathan's words. Nathan seized the moment, lowering the syringe just a fraction closer to the creature's hide, silently willing Gorthak to remain calm. He could see the fear slowly giving way to curiosity as the beast's breathing steadied. Yet, just as hope began to flicker in his chest, Gorthak suddenly lunged forward, baring its teeth in a display of raw power and frustration. Nathan's heart raced as he felt the ground tremble beneath him, the sheer force of Gorthak's movement sending a ripple of panic through the guards. In that split second, the guards shouted warnings, their weapons at the ready, but Nathan remained fixated on the beast. He had come too far to back down now. He couldn't let fear dictate his actions. Gorthak's eyes, wide with pain and confusion, drew him in, and he refused to look away. "Hold still," he urged, raising the syringe higher, hoping to show Gorthak that he meant no harm. As the creature hesitated, Nathan took a leap of faith, plunging the syringe into the tough hide. A moment of silence enveloped the room, the world around him fading as he concentrated solely on the beast before him. The piercing sound of Gorthak's growl transformed into a low whimper, and Nathan felt a surge of adrenaline course through him, electrifying his senses. Success and respect. As Nathan injected the antidote into Gorthak's hide, a sense of focus and determination enveloped him. The moment felt surreal, as if time had slowed down, the chaos around him fading into the background. He could feel the warmth of the creature's body beneath his hands, the heartbeat thrumming steadily through the muscle and scales. He held his breath, waiting for any sign of resistance, bracing himself for the worst. But Gorthak did not retaliate. Instead, the beast's body tensed momentarily before beginning to relax under the soothing properties of the antidote. Nathan felt a wave of relief wash over him as he watched the creature's fierce demeanor begin to shift. The golden eyes, once filled with a primal fear and aggression, now glimmered with something softer, curiosity, perhaps even trust. As Nathan withdrew the syringe, he kept his gaze locked on Gorthak, ensuring the beast remained calm. He could see the swelling in its neck begin to diminish slightly, a positive sign that the treatment was taking effect. "That's it, big guy," he murmured, his voice filled with encouragement. "You're going to be okay." The tension in the stable began to dissipate, the air transforming from a heavy blanket of dread to a palpable sense of hope. The guards, who had stood ready for battle just moments before, now watched in awe. Their expressions shifted from skepticism to astonishment, eyes wide as they processed the scene unfolding before them. Nathan was aware of their scrutiny, but focused solely on Gorthak, fully immersed in the task of gaining the creature's trust. He reached out cautiously, offering his hand to the beast, palm up and open, a gesture of peace. Slowly, Gorthak tilted its massive head, inching closer to Nathan, the sharp, serrated teeth still bared but less threatening now. Nathan could feel the warmth radiating from the creature as it sniffed cautiously at his outstretched hand, its breath hot and heavy against his skin. It was a moment of connection, a bridge built between two vastly different beings united by a common goal. As the realization of his success began to sink in, Nathan felt a surge of pride. He had not only managed to treat the most feared creature of the Extern Empire, but had also forged a bond with it in the process. The significance of this achievement was not lost on him. He had crossed cultural and biological boundaries, proving that compassion and understanding could prevail even in the most daunting circumstances. Vokil, standing off to the side, watched with narrowed eyes, his usual arrogance now tempered by a begrudging respect. The whispers among the guards faded, replaced by a quiet acknowledgement of Nathan's bravery and skill. He was no longer just a human vet. He had become a respected figure in this alien realm, a symbol of hope and possibility. As Gorthak nuzzled Nathan's hand gently, the beast's ferocity seemed to melt away, replaced by a newfound calmness. Nathan realized that this moment marked a turning point, not only for himself, but for the Extern people as well. They were witnessing the power of understanding, the importance of looking beyond fear to find connection, and the realization that perhaps humanity had a place among the stars.